Happy New Year, and welcome to a special 2022 retrospective episode 24 of AARGH My Optics, a podcast where two adult men discuss, overanalyze, and generally take a toy and media franchise originally intended for kids a little too seriously. I am your fully paid up member of the Guardian reading, tofu eating, wokerati, and co-host Orion Ghia, and with me in actual real life is my liberal elite podcaster taxied down from his North London townhouse co-host, Virtual Dave. Dave, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming down.
Hello. Yes, great to be back.
It's great to have you in the flesh. So, full disclosure, guys, we're recording this early December 2022, but you listeners won't be hearing it until the distant future of 2023. Ooh. Reason being, we're going to run down our favourite things of 2022. The surprises, the disappointments, hopes and dreams for 2023, but maybe, more importantly, our personal top 10 toys of 2022. Welcome to the second annual AARGH My Optics Top of the Bots!
Woo!
But, as I said, here in the AARGH My Optics actual studio, not virtual studio, it's Christmas, so happy Christmas, Dave. Would you like a present?
Merry Christmas, yes.
Hey.
Who says no to presents?
Well, so I've got a few things here. Here's your first present. There we go. Happy Christmas.
Oh, wow, thank you.
I've wrapped this up in an old comic book bag.
Oh. Wow. Playmobil Ghostbusters 4-pack.
Yeah. You haven't got them already, have you?
I do not.
See, my problem here is that Dave buys so many toys that buying him toys is virtually impossible.
Playmobil's a good shout.
There you go. Yeah, I thought Ghostbusters. I thought, yeah, that's something you've not got. And I've heard the Playmobil Ghostbusters stuff is actually really good.
Oh gosh, yes. All their cars. Oh my goodness, they look great. And didn't you like the Star Trek?
Oh, the Star Trek thing is amazing. The Enterprise. Yeah, that looks fantastic. It's just a bit too pricey for me, and it's a whole nother thing to collect.
Well, here's your present.
Oh, thank you. It looks record shaped, but not necessarily a record. So, yes, very nice wrapping paper, proper Christmas wrapping paper.
I do try.
A little bit. I think you've been a bit overzealous with the tape here, mate.
Oh, yeah. Let it be said that I'm not very good at wrapping, so I'm overcompensate.
Oh, my word. Wonderful. So, when I pulled this out, listeners, I just saw the back of this record, and it's the single, the Bobby Brown single from Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters theme continuing here. The Ghostbusters 2 Bobby Brown on her own single, which is great. I like it. But the main event, is that Dave has very, very kindly got me the Transformers the movie soundtrack on vinyl, which is actually something I have been wanting to get at some point. The record shop down the road from us had like a copy of it, like the original copy of it or something, up in the window for a while. And I was thinking I might pop in and see how much it is. I bet it was really expensive. And then by the time I did it had gone. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much.
See, listeners, it's not just me. Orion buys a lot of records, so picking one for him was very hard. So I thought these are the only two he probably doesn't have in his collection.
Oh yeah, there's no chance I will have these in my collection. Wonderful, thank you very much. Very thoughtful. So, getting back to the podcast, do you remember last year's podcast?
I do indeed.
Good. And what you said and what was on your list, for example?
I remember on my list, that's a good question. I remember the top three.
Right, because you made a few different lists, didn't you? I
did.
Yeah, very confusing as always.
In highlight of that, just want to let listeners to know, there will not be an alternate list to what I'm making today. This is the list. Mm. So on Instagram, you will see this as the list. However, I am going to add a new list this year, which I'm very excited about.
Would you like to keep it a secret, or are you going to reveal what this list is?
It's a top 10 Nendoroid list.
Oh, wow. I can definitely ignore that.
So here you go, listeners. You're hearing it here first.
God, the idea that you've bought enough Nendoroids to make a top 10 list is just insane. So, in that case, I will do a little bit of admin here, and I'll remind everybody of our lists from 2021. Dave, you had... This is in reverse order, so we can play the top of the pops music. At 10, AARGH from the Studio 86 line. At number 9, Zombie Cap, or Zombie Captain America from Marvel Legends. At number 8, Plasma Series Ghostbusters. No particular one, but you did bring in Peter.
Yes.
At number 7, New Age Galvatron, the one that comes inside a golf ball.
The best one.
At number 6, Marvel Legends Thanos. At number 5, that VR Trooper from... what company was it?
Evolution Toy.
Yeah, that guy. And then at number 4, Studio Series Hot Rod. And then your top 3, number 3 was Nuts. At number 3, McFarlane Green Lantern, John Stewart Green Lantern, which was a baffling choice, to say the least. But apparently you wanted to put Super Saiyan 3, Goku, there. But you couldn't because it wasn't out or something.
It should have been with me that week.
Right, okay. At number 2, Mafex Gambit. And at number 1, the Fuikui Kanti robots, which really didn't qualify for the list, but we let you off. There were reissues, but it was fine. Like I said, we let you off. It was fine. They were nice toys. My list, at number 10, New Age Ultra Magnus. At number 9, Flame Toys Primal, which is still for sale if anybody wants it. Really nice figure, really overpriced figure, and funnily enough, really difficult to sell. No, there isn't a KO coming out. Don't buy that. So, at number 8, Transarts Ravage from Beast Wars, Metals Ravage. I will actually run down how many of these I've sold, because there's quite a few. At number 7, Mastermind Creations Chrome Dome and Rewind, because it's a 2-pack, so that's fair. At number 6, New Age Galvatron and Straxus. I had 3 Galvatrons. I cheated in a way. I just put 3 in. They're all the same mould. It's a great mould. At number 5, Flame Toys Feral Model Rodimus. At number 4, again a shared between the official MP and the Deformation Space Starscream. At number 3, the third spot, Sentinel Miles Morales from Spider-Verse. At number 2, Mastermind Creations Ron from the IDW Comics. And at number 1, Masterpiece Reboost, who's my favourite figure of 2021, and I stand by that. But I will mention that I've sold. Let's look. I'm trying to sell Flame Toys Primal. I've sold Transarts Ravage. I've sold both the MP and Deformation Space Starscreams. And I've sold Sentinel Miles Morales this year.
Wow.
2 of those are right in my top 4. So this is how fickle I am, guys. So anyway, that covered. Dave, how's your collecting changed since last year?
Not as much as I would have hoped, and less than I actually planned.
I think you might have gone in the wrong direction.
I mean, I've definitely bought less Nendoroids this year. No, I mean, realistically, I think my change this year there's been a slight shift between mainline figures and import / high-end figures. Like, I've definitely been dabbling more in stuff a bit higher end this year. I haven't been buying as many £20, well, nothing's £20 anymore, £25 figures anymore, and experimenting some of the higher end stuff.
Yeah, although you've been buying those too.
Oh yeah, but not as much.
I mean, I look at your Instagram and I just think, is there anything he hasn't bought this year?
That's a podcast episode in itself.
So I'll remind you of what you said were your plans for 2022 last year, which were you've been collecting a lot more with a greater variety in 2021, and you blame delays due to the pandemic and being too trigger happy. And I think you were kind of saying you might calm that down, but I don't know if you have.
Not for any fault of my own. I think this year it's been the opposite for the stuff coming. Stuff that was meant to be pre-orders for later in the year or even next year has all kind of just hit at once. Like, something's happened in the last couple of quarters. It's just been stuff that was not meant to come now. It's all just all of a sudden started.
Maybe that is pandemic related though. Maybe the factories are back up to getting back up to kind of speed, and then all this stuff's just kind of hitting. I don't know.
Mayfex is almost back up to date. Well, not.
Come on.
Almost. Like from
no. Don't be silly.
They're not like wherever they were last year, like 50 figures behind.
I suppose that's true, but they've still got stuff that's they got revealed quite a while ago. That's still not out.
Well, I mean, they're not helping us to reveal something every month.
Yeah. 2 usually.
2.
All right. Well, for me, I bought a bit more, but I've sold a bit more. I definitely bought more figures this year, I think, mostly due to getting back into G.I. Joe Classified, because I think I've already mentioned it here and there, but I have got back into G.I. Joe Classified, and obviously you buy those en masse a bit more because it's more kind of troop building and so on. But I've sold quite a lot. I have this kind of ethos of, if I haven't got space for it on the shelves, then I need to make space. Mm-hmm. So I've sold all my post-season 1 third-party MP Beast Wars stuff, so all the Transart stuff that I had. Got rid of over 50% of my G1 MPs, and I'm pretty much of the opinion that I don't want to buy any more G1 MPs, especially with the way that whole thing is going in that toon direction, which does not interest me. Mm-hmm. I quit and sold all my Spider-Verse figures because I felt like it's just been too long since I saw that movie. I'm not that bothered about it. It was exciting at the time, it's not exciting me anymore. And then there was the rather disappointing Sentinel SPDR figure, which Dave brought along to show me, and Christ almighty, it's so cheap feeling.
Yeah. I remember when I got it, and I told you, you're not going to like this. Sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd already sold all my, because it took so long to come out, and then when it did, we first saw like the early images of it, I was like, oh, actually, the scale's all wrong. So I'd already decided that when it arrived, I was going to sell it. But you said you're not going to like this, and I'm like, well, I didn't think I was, but this just really reinforces it, and I don't, I don't like it. I'm glad I never opened it. It literally, guys. Let's say I got it on the Friday, I'd sold it by the Sunday. So I did that, and like I say, I got back into Classified, which is both a blessing and a curse, which we'll get into later. So what did I say I was going to do in 2022 was, I was hoping to reduce how much I was buying, and I haven't. I bought more, but again, I sold stuff. Less speculative buying, like feeding that itch, which I think I've done well on, to be honest. I don't have another Flame Toys Optimus Primal sitting in a box waiting to be sold. I did kind of have some stuff that was like that, but that was early in the year. It's kind of hangover from last year. And I wanted to settle on a couple of collecting things, which I think I've pretty much done, but I've always done that. My optics! Right, enough messing about. Let's get down to it. The rules are the same as last year. The toys have to have been released in 2022. Pay special attention, Dave. I know you don't like to follow rules. We have to have owned it or had extensive experience of it. It can't be a reissue or a KO of a pre-2022 figure, unless it's substantially different to the original. And within reason, no repeats of the same mould, but we play very fast and loose with that rule.
Oh yeah, when it's him. Yeah, when it's me.
No, we both do.
Okay.
Alright, maybe I do more than you. Right, so let's rock it through the first 7 and spend a bit longer on the top 3. Oh shit! But before that, last year we did predictions for each other's top 10. Now, I didn't want to do this. I said to Dave last night, I've taken the predictions out of the running order because, like I said before, you bought so much stuff. It's impossible. Impossible for me to guess. But Dave insists that we do this. So, what I've decided we're going to do is I've got a lovely generic off-brand brightly coloured adhesive note square here, and we're going to jot down our predictions for each other's top 3 and affix them to each other's foreheads.
Okay.
And we will not remove them until the countdown is finished. How's that sound? It's a bit like the cigarette paper game. Do you know the game I'm talking about?
I think I do, yes.
Where you write like a famous person
Yeah.
and stick it on someone's head and they've got to guess who they are.
I've just never played it with cigarette paper. But yeah.
Well, that's usually what's available at the parties I'm at.
Okay.
Right, so you write down your predictions on there, and I'll write down mine on here. Talk amongst yourselves, listeners, while we scribble this down. How are you having a nice Christmas, guys? Or did you have a nice Christmas? Good New Year's party? There you go.
Thank you.
I can see Dave's having some deep in thought while he jots down. It really shouldn't be too difficult, considering I have probably only bought about 40 figures this year, whereas I imagine Dave has bought 40,000 figures this year.
Oh, I don't like doing the numbers.
Great. Right, now with our post-it notes affixed to our heads, let's continue. So yeah, like I said, let's rock it through the first 7 and spend a bit longer on the top 3. Not too long, mind. I want to get down the pub. Dave, what was your 10th favourite toy of 2022?
Well, my 10th favourite toy.
Diamond Select. Immortal Hulk.
Whoa, and he's just fallen over. Well, that's gigantic. Yes, it's Hulk, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice, Dave. Tell us why you chose this.
Like I said, he's massive. He's wearing the Marvel Legends 8th anniversary shirt. He's nicked. He's what I envision when I think of the Hulk. It's just a massive hulking monster. I thought the Marvel Legends was a bit small, so I think he scales well with your standard guys.
I think if what you want is an absolutely ginormous Hulk, then yes.
Especially for the price, because I mean, this is I got this for like £25, and that's how much a standard Marvel Legend costs.
Is that new? As in £25 new, or did you buy it like a...
Yeah, new.
Alright, so that is what it costs new.
Mm.
Well, that's not bad value, is it, for what you're getting?
And it also has an extra face, so you can make him the robot Hulk.
Okay.
From.
I don't even know what that's from, and I'm the comics expert here. No, it's very nice. So this shirt thing that isn't from him?
No.
Okay, but it fits over him nicely.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Lou Ferrigno look to it.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's very Diamond Selects, isn't it? Like it's got that kind of like
Big chunky.
yeah,
statue.
the plastic feels kind of. I don't know. It's a strange type of plastic. Do you know what I mean?
It's different. I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
It's not rubbery, but it's. I don't know. There's something funny about it.
It's all Diamond Select figures feel like that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I used to have for a while. I had a Diamond Selects Deadpool. It felt very much the same. But, yeah.
It does normally stand up. I don't know why.
This table is a little bit wonky sometimes, so I wouldn't blame the toy. No, very very nice. All right, well, like I said, I'm gonna get through this nice and quick. So I'm gonna give you my number 10. My number 10 is invisible because I've sold it. My number 10 is 30 MDLX Bumblebee.
Ah, okay.
Now, like I say, I've sold this toy, but I did like it. I just decided it just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I give it massive points for, in a world of endless nostalgia and show accuracy, 30 are going against the grain and doing something different. It's not beholden to anything. It's their own designs. I think they need props for that. And it's a very pretty, very very well, nicely painted, small but reasonably priced for what it is. Great deco, great articulation, but just ultimately not really my thing.
It does. It is great. I mean, after you got it, it swung me into getting it.
Funny thing is, though, I said to you, I'll probably end up selling it.
You did. And
But then you'd already pre-ordered it or ordered it or something,
I
and then
think it was the day you were like, yeah, I'm selling it. I was like, I literally just bought it.
took me a while to sell as well, but yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Well, in that case, let's move on. What's your number 9?
Now this is where
This might be considered cheating. Number 9 is the Hasbro Power Rangers crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm just going to say the entire line. They're all great.
I'll allow it. Yeah, you did say actually on last year's podcast that you were looking forward to these or something.
I was, and they did not disappoint.
I mean, yeah. I'm not a Power Rangers guy, as we all know. But yeah, they seem like very nice figures.
Well, this is the thing. Unlike a lot of the other crossovers that Hasbro has done recently, this is actually based on something in the comics that happened.
Yes, okay.
It's not their designs, is what I mean. Like, this is something that Boom Studios made already.
Right.
And then Hasbro's have turned them into figures. And I think it's a great combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
It really highlights the figures from Power Rangers becoming a giant turtle.
Okay. Is that what they do?
No, the turtles get their morphers and they become Power Rangers. And then the Power Rangers become ninjas. More so.
So, what's the giant turtle?
Oh, their Megazord becomes like
Oh, right.
a giant turtle.
Okay, I can't get these to stand up at all.
No.
So, apart from the fact that they can't stand up, I'm giving up, guys. These turtles don't stand up.
They won't stand.
Yeah, yet you love them.
Well, I mean, they do, but I assume all my figures won't stand up today. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're nice. They feel kind of similarly constructed to G.I. Joe Classified, really. Or Marvel Legends, or whatever.
They do all the little bits and bobs, like all their weapons. Like, I like the whole thing, like the Turtles' weapons and the Power Ranger weapons all together.
Mm-hmm.
They come with interchangeable heads. All of that is great. The only problem I have with it is it's not to the figure's detriment, is that there's going to be a couple of things on my list that I've done this year. These were a certain price. Like I said last year, I pre-ordered them. I got them. And 2, maybe 3 months later, these are all like discounted at the Entertainer.
Yeah. Well, it's limited appeal, isn't it? Well, it is!
I mean...
How many people read that comic?
Not many, I would imagine.
Uh-huh. They're limited appeal because who's read these comics? And it's weird that because they were mainline releases, weren't they?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so I can understand how... And this is the thing, like, the Entertainer is a toy shop for kids.
But it's not. It's not a selective thing. Like I showed you, all the Hasbro products were dramatically decreased, like 60 to 70% off. 75 in some cases.
There's something going wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but there's something going wrong. So yeah, they were discounted. So that disappoint you a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, maybe play the long game.
Maybe that's that's what I got to do.
All right, so my number 9 is, now I actually have a figure to show you for this one.
Oh, where is he going? Oh.
It is New Age Clone Megatron, I think is his official name, but it's basically the Marvel Comics Deco version of the New Age Megatron mould.
It's Megatron with a blue hat.
It's Megatron with a blue hat. He's got his great deco. I love the fact that they're doing Marvel comic decos. I think New Age are just knocking out the park with alternate decos on their stuff. He's lovely, metallic looking. He's pretty. It's a bit of a dated mould, which is why it's coming a bit further down the list.
Is this with it's got the new legs though, right? Or wasn't
It's got the new legs, yeah. But I mean that mold. I mean, I don't know when that originally came out, but it was probably about 2 years ago,
That's
maybe.
One of the earlier ones, yeah.
And it does show its age a little bit in places.
It is nice though, and I do like the metallic red pops as well in like on his neck and
Yeah, I don't even have a massive problem with the blue because like I've said this before, like the blue in when you're colouring stuff in kind of comic colours, there's a tendency to go, oh, it's blue, when it's actually black. It's just black. It's black highlighted blue. It's like people don't know how comics work. But it's a nice kind of it's a nice blue that works. I would say it would look better in a kind of gunmetal grey or black, but I'm cool with it being blue.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really nice deco. I like it. It's lovely, and it's got great. I mean, it's a great figure. It's great, really, really lovely transformation. Comes with all the bits you'd expect: scope, barrel, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and comes in a really cool box with great ripped off artwork, which is what New Age like to do. Okay, so moving on, Dave. Number 8 in your list is.
Now this one is another joint one because I couldn't separate them.
We've got Mafex Nightfall Batman and McFarlane Toys Nightfall Batman.
2 figures. One is great, the other one is shit.
Handle both of them and then have an idea.
Yeah. I mean, I sold you the Mafex one because I bought it thinking I wanted it. It's one of those kind of speculative buying things of like, I did read the Nightfall comic when I was younger, so I have a kind of love for it. But at the same time, I'm like, but do I need to start getting into random Batmen? And am I going to start buying all the Batmen? Maybe I shouldn't. So I just changed my mind, and you wanted it, so... So you're asking me to handle them because... What, you want my honest opinion on how they feel?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Alright. Right, okay. So... The Mafex Batman feels like a premium toy. The McFarlane Batman feels like a premium dog toy. Was that what you expected me to say?
Not in those particular words, no. It's just something about the molds of both of these figures. Like, I think if the McFarlane one was painted like the Mafex one, or that the Mafex one was slightly more stable like the McFarlane one, because I do like this figure and it looks really nice because of this lovely paintwork.
Mm-hmm.
But I find when I'm manipulating it, posing it, whatever, it just feels really...
It's a little bit loose.
Loose. Like, I mean, it's not like it's something that I've worked the joints ridiculously so it should be this loose. This is how it was out of the package.
Mm.
It just doesn't feel as premium as it should. It's got a lovely cape. I'm not so sure the cape's the perfect colour to match this, but it's fine. But the McFarlane one, I think it's just something about it. Like, I think it said it come down to the height of the ears and his cape thing. Like, it's something about it feels a bit more intimidating. Maybe it's because of its size and everything compared to this. Like, there's just something about both of them I like, but not enough.
I guess that's... I mean, I just don't understand how anyone could like this. I honestly, I look at it, it looks cheap, it looks the wrong colour. It's got horrible little moulding bits in the shoulders. And he's got that plastic static cape. The colours are all really washed out and wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a gold square on his collar.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like some kind of cheap dollar store kind of situation where they painted it like with like one will do, and he's got swirly, horrible gold plastic in his shoulders. Yuck. Sorry, it's just... He looks even worse in person than he does in pictures. It does. It feels and looks like a dog toy. I want to chew on it. It's my honest opinion. Whereas this, beautiful. Yes, okay. Maybe you're right. Yes, maybe he's a little bit loose in places, but the sculpting is on point. Beautiful metallic paint. Mm-hmm. He's the right colours. He's what Azrael Batman should look like. Whereas that isn't. No, I don't see what anybody sees in McFarlane Toys.
I think it's a nice what's the best way of putting it? Like, if you didn't want to spend the Mafex money and you wanted to get a representation of the character, I don't think that the figure is that bad in order to do it.
I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, I think if he'd painted it properly and made it the right colour, but I still think that it feels like shit.
Okay.
Like the plastics just
Doesn't feel...
super unpleasant.
Okay.
Do you not think?
No, I don't.
Like, compare this to that.
Oh yeah,
I'm holding up one of the Turtles toys you just put in the spot below them.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, Hasbro figures feel a lot better than McFarlane ones.
Well, that's what I mean. It's that rubbery bullshit plastic that I just don't get it. I just don't get how you could like it. But hey, it's your choice, mate.
Yeah. So that's it. So the two of them together.
Okay. I mean, I think it's nuts that you'd even put them on the same level.
I couldn't separate them. I like them both.
Yes, your opinion matters. It's just wrong. All right, moving on. My number 8. Now, my number 8 is also shared.
Ah.
I am putting in. I'm just going to go grab them out of the cabinet over here. So, it's Mafex's Dark Knight Returns Batman and Robin set and Mafex's Dark Knight Returns Superman. So you said you weren't expecting that?
No, I thought these would have been a lot higher, but okay.
Really? Well, I mean, I like them. They're great. And I have moved things around, and there is something coming up which is definitely not as good as these figures, but there's a reason why I put it in where it is.
Okay.
So, they're great figures, but they're let down by one or two things.
Okay.
So let's just talk about the 2-pack first of all. Great figures. Robin on her own, perfect. 100% what I would want from a Robin figure from Dark Knight Returns. I don't know why you buy that McFarlane piece of shit. It's great. Great articulation, all the accessories you'd expect, looks spot on to the original Frank Miller artwork. Just works. Batman, on the other hand, messy deco. The symbol on his chest, it's not straight, and it's not even the right deco to go with Robin. It just didn't feel right. Like the blue and yellow guy should be on his own. The black and grey guy should be with Robin, because that's the costume he's wearing when Robin's in the comic. The Batman logo is wrong. The Batman logo is more like the Batman 1989 logo than the logo that's actually in the comic.
All right. Okay.
It's just little things. I think it's a good figure. I mean, I love the base figure that they're using. I've got bloody 4 of them, I think. 1, 2... I've got 3 of them. 3 different variations of the same figure. But the deco is really sparse. Like, if you look at the difference between this guy and the original release, the black and grey version, or the Batman Triumphant, there's much more shading going on. Like, you just look at that belt, there's fuck all on it. It's just yellow. It just feels like they haven't put the effort in that they normally put in.
Yeah, I mean, I recently got this figure. Well, not recently. I got this because someone was selling him on his own and not with the Robin. So it was significantly cheaper, so I had to dabble. I can see what you mean, because yeah, I mean, I've seen the criticism, especially about the symbol on the chest. Some people have got some shocking.
I've not seen a good one.
Yeah, they're all a bit off.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't put them in the machine right or whatever,
Yeah.
and just printed it slightly to the left or slightly to the right, or so, like, and because it's sculpted, you can absolutely see it. And this is a problem Mafex have from time to time with a few things. Like, I also got the black suit symbiote Spider-Man this year, and that has similar problems. Like the white lining doesn't quite go into the spider leg, and it's something going on at Mafex that there's a problem. But like, if you look at the difference between this guy and the black and grey, the paint job is much more clean on that guy.
I can see it from here. He does look really good.
So that was why it's let down. Robin's great. Batman, there's some issues. Also, they do suffer from the Mafex problem of, oh, this side of the cape, the wire's tucked under the cowl, but this side it's not.
Yeah.
On both of them. So I couldn't put them any higher.
And Superman?
So, Superman. The main reason Superman's so low is because he's Superman. I don't give a shit about Superman.
Oh, okay.
It's not just that. I think they cheaped out on us because he comes with fuck all accessories.
Yeah, very little.
And for the price, you'd expect a bit more. He's exactly what you want. And his deco is sharp as fuck. Everything's where it should be. It's perfect. No problems there at all. Can't complain about the painting. It's all how it should be. But I just think, put another head in. Like, he has 2 heads, and one of them has an acid burn on it. It's an angry head, but it has an acid burn on it. Can I have an angry head without an acid burn as well, please? Like,
I saw some people saying he should have come with laser eyes. Like,
yeah, a lot of people have been making like they've been making like 3D printed. Yeah. Like, they gave him the Green Arrow's arrow, and that's it. It's hands, arrow, extra head. And I just feel like there could have been more for what you're paying. And when you consider some of the other Batman figures in the line, all the Batmen come with like 9 batarangs. And a bunch of other things, usually more than 2 heads.
I don't even like because I also have this figure, the cape as well behind his head. The way it doesn't tuck in, and it's just kind of...
Oh, you mean how it doesn't attach to the back of his neck?
Yeah.
But that's how it works.
Yeah, I know. I know, but like in some, like, I mean, the pose you've got now, you don't really notice it, but if he's just laying flat behind him, it can like sit...
Yes, yeah, you can do. Yeah, I mean, there's a figure coming on later in my list who has a much worse example of that, and it's just he's fine, but it just feels like they could have done a bit more. They are good figures. It's just that there's things missing, in my opinion, that I think that they could have done just to sweeten the deal. Moving on, would you like to reveal to us your 7th favourite figure of 2022?
7. Well, it was appropriate that I had to put this at number 7. I had to put a Super 7 figure at number 7.
Oh, okie dokie.
Super 7 Thundercats.
Oh.
Slide.
Now, I've seen this figure before. Yes, a friend of mine from James Donovan. Hello, James. He brought this into the pub, and yeah, it's a really nice figure. Really hefty. You tell me why you put it there.
Well, I mean, I had another Super 7 figure, and I brought it with me as well. But it was kind of lacking in person compared to this. This feels substantial. Came with some nice accessories. I really like this alternate face it has. It just screams the expressions he would pull in the show. Surprisingly well articulated for what it is, and his stature, his build. It's not a standard buff Thundercat man. It's very different, and now we know why they've done it this way, because they are making army builders of him.
Yeah, but I mean, now you know what.
But they weren't just going to let this mold go to waste. Like, they're obviously going to.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Okay.
But I think it was really good, and it wasn't something that I was going to get, because last year I only really wanted the Thundercats, and seeing how well this was when it came out, it got me into getting some of the villains, which have all been pretty good. Some probably better than the actual Thundercats.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really nice, solid piece. I mean, you say surprisingly articulated. It's about as articulated as something this shape and size can be, which in a way plays to Super 7's strengths, because they're not well known for their articulation. And this character doesn't need to be super articulated, and he's not super articulated. I mean, his knee moves about 2 degrees, well, maybe a little bit more.
But he's not a statue. Like, I thought he was going to be.
His tail could definitely have more articulation.
His tail could move more. Yeah.
But no, he looks great, and he has as much articulation as he needs.
Yes, and paint as well. Like, it's.
Yeah, he's well painted.
He's well painted. It's a nice figure, and definitely been a highlight from the line, because the Thundercat line has had many issues.
Has it?
You know, QC and other things, delays and whatnot. But this has definitely been one of the best ones from the year.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I think, like I said, when I saw it in the pub, I was pleasantly surprised with how nice it was. So that was your number 7. My number 7 is. New Age Grimlock in comic book deco. Now, yeah, that's a bit annoying. There is Yeah, it just needs a bit. Dave's just noticed there's one of the heels is a bit loose at the moment. That's only happened recently. I think it just needs tightening up. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking figure, and the difference between that and the regular release, which looks very plain, is it's night and day. Great articulation.
He comes with his sword.
Yeah, it comes with the correct sword, not some weird flamey thing.
Comes with a blue gun.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather that was black. The blue on this, not such a big fan. Would have preferred it to be black, but hey, it's blue. It's typical New Age genius. Like, the transformation is intuitive. You don't even need the instructions. You might do, but it really is quite easy. It works. It's proportionally great. It doesn't really have any faults, in my opinion.
Doesn't the eyes do the turning thing?
Yeah, the dinosaur eyes change from blue to red, so you can have them either way. And I mean, the only criticism people have made is that the knees go the wrong way in dinosaur mode, which is true, but I don't care. I really don't care.
Even the inner thigh foot.
Yeah, the inside of the legs
is a bit strange, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. I think people made a big deal out of it though, and then New Age went, okay, with the next Dinobot, we're going to put out leg fillers for Grimlock. So they're listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need the leg fillers. I think he's great, and it's wonderful. It's great to have it in comic book colours because, for me, the comic book Grimlock is my guy. Whereas, to be honest, the Grimlock from the TV show is an idiot.
Me, Grimlock, like toy of me.
Yeah, exactly. I find him irritating. So, there we go. There he is.
Oh, it's a very good choice. It's definitely one of the New Age figures from this year. I came very close to buying, and I have to say, if I was going to buy any, it would have been at this deco.
Really?
Yeah, it definitely is the best looking one. I mean, I guess the next one is the toy accurate one, but I don't have the connection to the G1 toys, so definitely would have been this.
Well, I was again at the pub. Took this into the pub the other day, talking to Michael. He's a big New Age fan, and he's like currently umming and erring about which one he's going to get. And I think he's looking at, because he likes the alternative decos a lot of the time. He likes to go for the more offbeat one, generally. I think he might be going for the shattered glass one, which is actually really quite pretty.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea, but it's a very, very nice deco. But this is my one. Right, moving on. What's your number 6?
Number six. Oh, yeah. Number 6. Okay. If I wasn't sticking...
Here we go. I can hear you kind of say, you're moving into, I'm making excuses for why I prefer his... Look, let me just preface this with...
Now, number 6, there was a figure that was going to be here, but it didn't meet your rules. I thought it did. That's why I asked you the other day about when something came out. I thought it was on the cusp, but it's not. So, this is the other figure.
So which rule did it not meet?
I thought it came out later last year than it did.
But it came out before we did our last year's list.
Yes.
But you didn't have it?
No.
Okay, tell me what you've chosen, then we'll talk about what you... Actually, no. Yeah, tell me what you would have chosen.
Tell me what I would have chosen.
Yeah.
I would have chosen Mezco, Dr. Fate.
Okie doke. But he came out last year quite a considerable bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he's very nice. He's a very nice figure. I'm not quite sure what type of Dr. Fate he's meant to be.
He's just a Mezco vibe.
Right. I've not actually handled a Mezco before, so I'm glad you brought one along, to be honest. They're very nice. I've got the Spider-Man ones on pre-order, so looking forward to those. So what did you choose instead?
Well, keeping with Mezco, Spider-Man 2099.
Right, and he did come out this year, did he?
Come out this year.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Spider-Man 2099, isn't it? I don't know why you love this guy so much, but hey, it's yours. I don't know, this is a bit...
Yeah, see, this is the thing. This is my biggest criticism with the figure. Yeah. His very odd cape and how they've decided to...
It seems a bit tacked on, doesn't it?
It's not big enough for a start. It's just like a little shoal on his back or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I like how these guys feel. you've got like a regular action figure underneath this this kind of soft goods suit, as it were. Like I've seen them before and thought, not sure about them, but seeing them in real life, I like these.
I mean, the Dr. Fate was the first one I got, so that's why I was like, oh yeah, well maybe they're not as bad as people think. And I was a bit worried about this, like, because his head and his neck are plastic, and then the body is material. And I thought you'd be very blatantly, there'll be a difference, but it's very seamless.
No, it looks perfect. Like I say, I've never been a big fan of the Spider-Man 2099 costume. It's not my thing, but it's a very good representation of that thing. It's
very got nice accessories. I like the alternate heads, and it comes with his little communicator, time-traveling, dimension-hopping wristwatch, and he's got another alternate one with the lady coming out of it. I forget her name.
I don't know. Like I say, I have no knowledge of the character. It's very much a case of not my Spider-Man, you know.
And he lives with my Spider-Verse characters because no one's going to make that Spider-Man until the new one. It's a nice figure, and it's miles better than the Marvel Legends one I had, which I've sold now. So that's my pick.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a nice figure. I like it, and you've made me you've made me a little bit more excited about getting the.
And your Spider-Man.
I've ordered Spider-Man and Green Goblin, and we know there's a Dr. Octopus coming, but that's not been solicited yet. All right, so that was your number 6, wasn't it? Right, my number 6. So it's this one and this one.
Okay.
Yes, my number 6 is New Age Cyclonus Toon Deco, and I have the IDW Deco. I am selling the IDW Deco, which is why he's in the box, but I will get him out. I just think it's a really fantastic mould. I'm going to say it is the best New Age mould this year that I've handled. I mean, I've not handled Jetfire, but of the ones I've handled, and I've had, I'm quite the New Age collector these days. I just think it's a really, really nice figure.
It's great.
Really well designed. Great transformation. Again, intuitive, simple, but clever. I think New Age are one of the best companies making transforming toys out there right now. They knock so many other third parties out of the water, blow them out of the water in terms of like clever, simple transformations that are fun to do.
Especially at the scale.
Yeah, but there are people on Transformers forums begging for New Age to
do a masterpiece,
upscale stuff to masterpiece, because a lot of this stuff would work at masterpiece scale. Now I'm happy that they're doing Legends because I really like the idea of Legends. I think it works because you can get, I've spoken about it before, you can get more a feeling of scale by being able to have bigger toys.
It's nice to see the other deco because I do have this one.
Yeah, it's a great figure with a great deco on both of them. Yeah, I love them.
In some ways, it reminds me a lot of the visually. It just reminds me of the Fans Toys.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Which isn't like a bad thing or anything. Like I think the Fans Toys one looks really nice, and it's the way they've applied the paint as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely metallic. Like again, they're doing it right. They're not going, let's make it boring, bland, flat, matte colours because that's what it looked like in the show. Let's give it a nice metallic kind of premium feel. This is the Toon Deco, and it's a lovely, shiny, metallic purple.
I mean, they even did like Depth Charge.
Yeah, the remold into Depth Charge was hilarious. And I'm pretty sure they got that idea from someone who'd done like a fan recolor,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think they pay attention to what the fans are saying and doing.
Oh, they definitely do. Yeah.
And it works, you know? I'm going to transform this in a bit because he's got a great little head sculpt, the IDW one. So yeah, there's my number 6. Let's hear your number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. Oh, we're still in the land of Transformers.
Magic Square Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Version 2.
Version 2, whatever you want to call it. I haven't seen this in person. I had the original Magic Square. You know what I was just talking about?
That's why I knew it was coming up. And I was like, well...
It's almost like I saw it coming. Flat, bland, boring, featureless. Meh.
But isn't it so show accurate?
Yeah, that wonderful, really badly animated show that we all love.
But no, the reason why this is here and
At this point on the list, is because when I got it, I wasn't as impressed. Because I had my lovely TF Element one.
Yeah.
And I really liked that one because of how hefty it was.
Yeah.
And I liked this because it was a later version one. They changed the blue tint on his chest and everything. It's great. Although, one of the faults for it, I guess it wasn't very articulated.
Right.
And if it was not subtle articulation. You had to be very bold with your choices of what Prime was doing. Whereas this is very articulated. And the longer I've had it, the more I've messed with it, I've definitely started to like it more.
Okay.
And the things that I appreciate about it is that it's not painted. Because I feel like with this heavy articulation that it can do, I feel if it was articulated, I probably would have more problems with paint. But I like the vibrant colours that it has.
Pardon?
I like the shade of blue and red, let's put it that way.
Okay, I wouldn't call them vibrant colours. They're quite muted.
I always thought that the first one was quite muted in the type of colours. It was more pastel-y. Like, I prefer this hue of red and blue.
Yeah. It looks like Optimus Prime from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what you want, that's what you get. And yeah, I do understand the painting thing, and I can totally see why this is much more fun to play with and pose.
I'm not scared to pick it up. I'm not scared to throw it in a suitcase and bring it here.
Yeah.
I felt much more fine with manipulating that than I do a certain HasLab that I bought this year.
Well, I would agree though. I mean, if I were looking for a masterpiece scale, toon accurate Optimus Prime, I would probably go for this one. I did have the other one, the previous one, which I thought was more my style. But this does feel a little bit less cheap than that did, in a way. I mean, it's kind of a little bit more simplistic than, say, MP.24, but it doesn't need to be. And it's got a better back.
Yes, it does.
Yes, that's right. He doesn't need to have a giant backpack, guys.
My one biggest criticism with it, though, is I feel like it could do with some die-cast in its feet or lower legs, just so it's a bit more solid when you put him down.
I am more impressed with it than I thought I would be, to be honest. I mean, it does suffer from that kind of like magic square unpaintedness, but I get why that is a plus when you're posing it. And yeah, you don't feel like you're going to damage it mucking about with it. And it looks the part. If you want giant white nappy Optimus Prime. So, my number 5 is invisible.
Oh, no.
It is Sentinel SV Action Peter Parker. I think it's a good figure. It's probably one of the best, well, I would say one of the best superhero figures of this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I sold him because I've given up on Spider-Verse. And it suffers from one fatal flaw, which is it's not as good as Miles, which was the previous figure in the line. They made some weird changes, like the little gaps in the backs of his legs so that his legs collapse more. They look strange. He has ball-jointed wrists, and to be honest, I don't want that. Because we all know where that leads. Snapped wrists. Whereas Miles didn't, and I actually thought that worked. And he had some really fucking weird accessory choices. It's like, let's give him hands for that specific one particular scene where he's typing. Mm-hmm. Why? We don't need that. And all of his maskless head sculpts were goofy.
I mean, they were very, very expressive.
That's just an excuse for goofy? That's like when people say involved when they talk about transforming, they mean difficult.
No. So, like, if you compared it to the Mafex Peter B. Parker, I didn't like his unmasked head. I thought it was boring. Him and Miles, I didn't really like them. But yes, Sentinel have gone all the way on the other side of the scale, and it's like, not a bit of a happy medium between the two.
Yeah, it limits your posing options. It limits what you can do with them. because I haven't got a standard looking face for this guy. So I can't have him doing something standard. He basically has to be doing whatever it was from that scene that they took it from. He comes with a tiny little glasses. He doesn't need them.
Very little.
And that gargoyle, don't get me started on that. I mean, like, I didn't get the one with the gargoyle. I know you did.
I did.
But, like, he sits on it once in the entire movie, and what? We decide we're going to pack in a giant, great big wall-mounted gargoyle?
I mean, the biggest problem with the gargoyle, other than it being a massive gargoyle and adding to the price, is there's nowhere for them to stand on it. There's no attachment for the stand on. That's the biggest problem with the gargoyle.
Yeah.
It should have been magnetic or something, so they have magnetic feet. Anything so they can actually, interact with it or sit on it.
Yeah, it has a screw hole in it so you can wall mount it. And then you're expected to delicately balance your £90 action figure on top of it.
Hell no.
Exactly. I sold him, but I put him in the list because I thought he does deserve some credit for being a good action figure.
It's a great Spider-Man toy. Like, if you weren't 100% on the movie and you just wanted a really good articulated Spider-Man, it's great.
There you go. So what's your number 5 in your list of the top 10 figures of 2022?
5 and 4 now.
Oh, 4? Yeah, I just did 5. Yeah, sorry. What's your number 4?
Something that I wasn't sure it would even come out this year.
Ah, yes.
Mafex Astro Boy.
Very nice.
Project Atom, if you like.
He looks fantastic. He does. He looks bang on. I can't fault you on this choice at all. If you want an Astro Boy toy, that's the one you should go for. Absolutely. That's beautiful.
It's a great little representation of this character, and it's something I've wanted for so long, because I did grow up watching an Astro Boy series. It's probably the closest thing on the table that looks exactly like a thing it's meant to. And I think the only problem I have with it is that I got it almost 2 years after I pre-ordered.
Yeah, well, that's Mafex, isn't it? No, it's really nice.
It comes with all of the different swap out things. It has a whole other chest you can use, so you can open his chest.
I love the glossiness of it as well. Like, I love the fact that they went for a high gloss on the the boots and the pants and the hair.
Swap out faces. You can change the eyes around between all the faces. You've got the jet boots. It's great.
It's really lovely. I mean, yeah, I'm not an Astro Boy fan, but as a toy, it's exactly what you want in it. It's perfect.
And this is another one of those figures that, may or may not break your list. I'm not sure, of your rules.
No, because it came out this year.
It did come out this year, but this is the 1.5 version. There was another one many, many years ago.
Yeah, I know, but it's a new version. I've said significantly different, and it's not a reissue.
Okay, alright. And to be fair, I'm not quite sure what's different between this one and the first one. I don't know.
Came out this year. It's allowed. It's allowed. I'm totally gonna allow it. Right. So my number 4 is going over to the same place a lot.
Drum roll. Oh.
My number 4 is another New Age figure, New Age Shockwave, the comic deco version. There you go. Now, I couldn't put him in the top 3. I almost did. But I thought he is a redeco of an older toy. He came out last year, and I mentioned in last year's podcast that I regretted not getting a version of the Shockwave mould, because at the time I was going, no, I'm just going to concentrate on the movie guys in New Age, and now I've relaxed that a little bit. Now they started doing comic decos. I'm like, I want to buy the comic decos. So I did get the toy deco, and I have him up here actually. Down here, there we go. Which I think is very nice too.
It is. I remember you showed me a picture of both of them, saying which one do you prefer. It's the eye, isn't it? That's why.
That's
It's optic.
That's it. So what they've chosen to do with the toy deco, the comic book deco, is they've taken the light piping out and they've painted his eye. Well, his eye is solid yellow plastic, I think.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say against it is that they should have painted the back of his head.
Yes.
Because he's got a big yellow square on the back of his head, and it's like, well, come on, guys, you paint everything else, paint this.
Yeah.
But it's such an amazing figure. It's such a well-designed, engineered thing. It would work in MP scale. I would say it's better than the MP.
Mm.
And I love the MP. It's just so clever, the way that the barrel of the gun collapses inside his body.
Mm.
Again, we were talking about it with Cyclonus. Like, it's genius. So he's, I like I said, I regretted not getting him. They took the electronics out as well.
There's electronics.
Yeah, so they took the electronics out of this one. There's still electronics in that one. You put a little battery in the gun barrel, and it lights up in gun mode. And because the gun barrel slides into the chest in robot mode, if you turn it on, the chest lights up.
All right. Didn't know that.
See, I'm a little bit annoyed. I think they could have left it in. There's no reason they needed to take it out. I mean, what I could do is keep both and take the electronics out of him and put it in here. Because it literally is, it just comes out.
Oh, all right.
There's no kind of real fiddling around. You just pop it in and out. I could easily pop the electronics, but then I'd have to keep him. Also, and look at that, the pearlescentness of that paint.
It looks nice.
The way it kind of changes colour in the light. It's New Age of fucking geniuses. When I made this list, I'm like, it's very New Age heavy. But that's what I've been enjoying the most this year. So, I mean, I've got to stick with what I love.
And the only problem I had with it when you showed me is like the little squares. But that's it.
I think it just breaks it up. I think it just looks like detailing in a way. I know what you mean, because there's two shades of plastic in there. But I don't think that it takes anything away from me personally. I think he's a beautiful little guy.
My optics!
Okay, we've run down our 10 to 4. We're into the top 3 now. But before that, it's Christmas! Woo! So let's do some more present giving. Shall I go first or you go first? What do you want to do?
No, you go first.
Right. Well, here's your second present.
Oh, he's got one. We have a mini selection of some Transformers Marvel UK comics.
Not just any mini selection. What mini selection is it?
Oh, it's actually it's the selection we looked at on the podcast earlier in the year. City of Fear.
Yeah, it is. It's the entire City of Fear run.
Yeah, and I can finally see what the comic covers look like.
Exactly. And you get to, you got Flame in there. And I also gave you the 2 issues that were referred to, because you said, oh, there's something in here saying something happened to Prime in issue 99.
Oh, right. Yes, it does.
So you've got issue 98 and 99, so you've got the story.
This is really nice, because of all the stories that we could have picked, you had the one that I had the IDW reissue reprints of. So yeah, no, it's nice to see what they actually looked like at the time.
Yeah, the actual covers and the original adverts, and you've got the transformations page at the beginning, which you can read the introduction to each issue, and you've got the Grimgrams.
Grimgrams as well.
This year I've gone right into buying the Marvel comics, and I bought loads of them, and I've had some doubles over the way. And as I was going through, I was like, I've actually got doubles of every issue of that run, and most of them are in pretty good nick. And I thought, Dave might like these.
It is so different as well. Okay, yeah, this is great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I don't know which one of my presents to give you because I feel. No, let's end on a high.
Well, we've got another one. We're going to do another one, isn't it? Yeah. Ooh, it's a box. It's about 40 centimetres by 40 centimetres, roughly, something like that. If my guesstimation is correct. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, you bastard. You fucking bastard. Thank you, Dave. What Dave has got me
He's gonna burn it.
No, I'm not. No, because it is a thoughtful gift. It is a thoughtful gift, and I do like it. So, as you may be aware from our previous podcasts, I'm a massive fan of Booster Gold. I'm a massive fan of Justice League International, the comic book. And what Dave has got me is the DC Multiverse McFarlane Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. Now, I slagged this off massive style when it was solicited.
Mm-hmm.
And those criticisms do stand.
All your criticisms just made me want to buy it even more.
Have you got one of your own?
No. I bought it especially for you.
Wow. Well, you shouldn't have. It's literally. I mean, I've not seen this in the flesh, so no, it's cool. And, I mean, I don't hate it, because I love these characters, so thank you very much. It's a nice gift set, yeah, so I don't hate you. It's great. Thank you very much.
That's alright.
Alright, well, with that out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
shall we move on to our top 3? Would you like me to go first? Because, like you said, last year we went the other way around.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, number 3. Now this one is a controversial choice in my opinion.
Okay.
So my number 3, my third favourite figure of the year, although, to be honest, maybe it's not, but maybe it is.
It's not really my spiel. Ooh.
It is! G.I. Joe Classified Serpentor with Air Chariot. Shall I have a look at it? There you go. So, yeah, it's... I ummed and ahed. This figure was at number 8 originally.
Wow.
Because it's a G.I. Joe Classified figure, and a lot of the figures that we've been talking about are of a higher quality than this figure. Mm-hmm. So I found it difficult because I wanted to put it in the list because I do really like it, but I wasn't sure where to put it. But I decided both to make my top 3 a little bit more interesting, and also because I want to give props for Hasbro doing something right for a change. It is great.
It's big.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it at MCM Comic Con earlier in the year, and I thought it looked really cool, to be honest. I thought that Serpentor looked like a big, buff, leader, general type dude, and I thought it was very fitting. I know very little about G.I. Joe at the best of times, and I can tell just by looking at this that I'm way out my depth here. I don't know what's going on here, but for what it is, he looks great.
Yeah, I took him along to the pub the other day, and most people there were of the same opinion. Because, unfortunately, the other guy that collects G.I. Joe Classified wasn't able to come along. So I was going to show it to him, and he would have probably... I mean, the sad thing is that... hi, James. Spoke about you earlier. When this came out, when this got solicited, it sold out immediately, which is really irritating. It was only available through Hasbro Pulse. I was watching it thinking, do I want this? And I was there when it got dropped, and I was like, oh, it's gone. Right, that's made my decision for me. Fine. I wasn't sure I wanted it anyway. But once it had gone, I wanted it more. And then I was talking to James about it, and he sent me a message saying, I got it for pre-order on In-Demand Toys. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I pre-ordered it. I felt like I missed out, so I'm going to definitely pre-order it. And the copies that In-Demand Toys got shipped before Hasbro Pulse.
Wow.
So I got it before James got his. But yeah, it's, like I said, it's an example of them getting something right. It's got huge nostalgia feels, although it's modern but classic. It's not slavish to the animated show or anything, which is definitely not what I want. You know, in a way, Classify's got that War for Cybertron kind of feel of kind of being very referential to the old shows or whatever, but trying to be a modern toy at the same time. Deco's spot on. He's really pretty. Great accessories. I love the fact that they put handles on these cannons so you can take them off and you can wield them.
Oh, right, okay.
The chariot is bang on what it should be. It's got little kickstands so it can stand up. The little turbine spins on the back, not as well as you'd like it to. The original toy had a little twisty thing here, and you could spin it, which you don't have here, unfortunately. Which, they could have done that. Because actually, when I passed it around in the pub, I think it was Hannah said, but it's just a big block. There's no play features. And I'm like, no, that's true.
They don't do that anymore.
It's more of a display piece.
Doesn't he have like an extra head or something like a different...
Yeah, he has a bunch of accessories. He has 2 types of head.
Right.
A cowl that fits completely over his head, but it completely limits his head articulation. But it looks more...
seamless.
and more kind of classic. So you've got the option of having him with a with like a full all-in-one piece headdress, or more like the original toy, you can have him with a head that's not attached to the crest. Because the original toy was like that. The original toy, basically, this was a backpack. It plugged into the same hole as all the backpacks did, and it just kind of came up behind his head. But in the show, obviously, it was all connected.
All together.
So they're giving you both options, which is nice. And here's where I will make some criticisms. It still feels, because it's Hasbro, like they're cutting corners.
Okay.
He has this one stock stoic facial expression.
Doesn't have any others?
It'd be nice to have another one.
Oh, I thought he had like a whole other...
No.
Oh.
I'd like an angry one, or something like that. And one thing that all of these guys, well, most of these guys don't do, most of the classified stuff, they don't have alternate hands. So he's got trigger fingers. He doesn't have any guns. Well, he does. He has the cannons on the side of his chariot, which he can carry, but most of the time he's not going to be carrying a gun. So why has he got trigger fingers, and why are there not alternate hands? I mean, he's a leader. He's the kind of guy who's going to be clenching his fist or pointing or something like that.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a pointing hand. Yeah, because that's what you think he'd be doing on that thing.
And it just feels like this is like a premium release. It comes in a kind of really kind of over the top kind of a presentation box. And what do they put in instead? A fucking rubber snake. It's like I don't need a rubber snake.
It's strange because it's not like sometimes Marvel Legends don't always come with a certain type of hands, but because they're also modular and interchangeable, you go, oh well, I'll just take some hands from someone else. But when it's someone who's sculpted certain sculpted hands, painted a certain way that is only going to be for this character and no one else, and if they do it again, it'll probably be in a different deco. So it is annoying when they do that and you just don't get the full package.
Yeah, it feels like a corner cutting kind of situation. It's like, well, like I say, I don't need a rubber snake. I don't necessarily need that non-movable cowl, but I understand why that's there. What else have we got? So we've got 2 types of extendable blades to go on his arm.
Okay.
You've got the non-extended one, which he's currently got on, and that pops off, and then you can put the extended one on, which is nice.
It's very...
All for that.
Oh, what's that Street Fighter called?
Yeah, well, it's meant to be like fangs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get it? And then he's got his sword, which is fine, and his snake that he throws at people.
Oh, okay.
So, you said, I don't know, I'm out of my depth with G.I. Joe. In the G.I. Joe movie, which didn't go to cinema because the Transformers movie was a flop.
Wait, is he in the movie?
Oh yeah, he's the big guy. He's the big bad.
I know nothing about this movie.
He is in the movie.
Right. Okay.
And towards the end of the movie, he takes one of these snakes off of his shoulder, one of these ones that are moulded in, makes it all straight like a javelin, throws it at Duke. It goes through Duke's heart and kills him. But then he doesn't kill him because they don't want to kill him because they killed Optimus Prime and everyone didn't like it.
See, I knew about this, but I never knew what happened, how he got injured or whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, snake through the chest. That'll do it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. A big rigid snake through the chest. Fine.
So, but they brushed it off and to say he was in a coma from that.
Yeah, he got better basically. Yeah. So the other thing that is a bit of a problem is that his joints are incredibly tight. You need to heat him up to fully bend his elbows, and some people have had them snap. Oh, and it'd be nice if the cape had a wire in it. So that's what I mean. I love it because it has all that nostalgia feel for me, but it has some things that I think they could have done slightly better. I think the chariot is spot on. There's nothing I'd change about the chariot. And maybe I'd give it a stand because, it'd be nice just to have it.
Yeah, elevated above the rest of the team.
Yeah, and I've actually recently purchased a stand to put it on.
Okay.
There you go. That's my number 3. I should probably mention that Virtual Amy has joined, sat here very quietly, so you are allowed to occasionally...
Quiet.
You're allowed to occasionally talk or chuckle or whatever you wish. Let's see.
You were so concerned that I was holding back my laughter.
Or whatever. Yeah. I thought just in case you want to chuckle at some of the amazingly funny things I'm saying, you can now. So, Virtual Dave, your number 3, your third favourite figure of the year.
My third favourite figure of the year. It's not too different from your choice.
A similar kind of vibe.
Similar kind of vibe that, you know...
Maybe shouldn't be on the list, but is on the list.
Yes, and there's definitely figures below it that are definitely higher quality.
Yeah.
But this is Hasbro doing a good job.
Oh, yeah.
Transformers Legacy Override.
You know what? This got brought along to the pub a few months ago, and I was like, who made this? Who? What, Hasbro made this? But why is it so much better?
I know.
Yeah, it's like the hard plastic on the legs and stuff. It just feels like another company's made this.
Like I said earlier, unlike a certain HasLab, the plastic feels so much better over there.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But no, it's great. I'm loving that they're starting to do some stuff from the Unicorn trilogy. Obviously, it's my big introduction to Transformers, so that's my nostalgia kick. And I never had the original Override toy. I had one of the redecos of it later in the line. So this is really great. It's like a little grail that I would have chased down, but I love this robot mode. I love that they kept the translucent tires for the alt mode. Yes, the alt mode hasn't got the painted feet/headlight.
Yeah, that is a shame.
It is. But apart from that, like we were saying, quality-wise, the plastic, the way it feels, the smart way it transforms, it's a great little figure, and it definitely shows that Hasbro can do it. And if anything, it makes a lot of the other stuff in their line, like Legacy, feel a bit half-assed.
Well, this is something we were discussing. I was discussing with the guys in the pub. It does feel a little bit sometimes like they put a lot of effort into one guy in the line, and then the others don't get as much love.
Yeah.
Like, I think the wave we were talking about is the most recent wave with Inferno in it, and everyone's like, well, Inferno's brilliant, but then some of the other ones are a bit iffy. Yeah, no, it's much nicer than you expect a Hasbro figure to be. A current Hasbro figure to be. Could do with a bit of head articulation though.
Yeah.
Can't look down. Or up.
It's a nicer representation of the character. It's a lot more... I guess you could say show accurate, but it's a really nice to get this character without the gimmick of the old one with the whole auto-morphing chest thing that really was more of a hindrance than a fun part to the toy.
No, I would argue it is a fun part of the toy, but it is a hindrance. It's both.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's aimed at a different thing, isn't it? Like that was aimed at kids. This is aimed more at adults.
But even as a child, I never enjoyed that gimmick, and it was weird because no one else in the line really did stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I guess. No, it's a good choice. I like it, and like I say, I was quite impressed with it when I saw her, because I watched the Japanese version where this character is a guy, but in the US version it's a girl, isn't it? So yeah, I was impressed there. I thought that she's much better than she has any right to be. Good choice. So, my number 2, my second favourite figure of the year, is over here in the cabinet. Dark Knight Returns Armoured Batman.
Ooh. Yeah. I get it. It's definitely the main focus of this comic. The big battle between him and Superman. Flashy.
I wouldn't say main focus, but it's an iconic moment in the comic.
It's something that's been, like, people have tried to revisit it since. Like, it's something about that comic.
It's what people remember. Yeah. It's what people reference.
Him in this,
armoured suit.
Well, it's more than just the armoured suit. Like, it's a suit that gives him the capability to being toe-to-toe with Superman for a lot longer if he wasn't wearing it.
I mean, it allows him to be hit by Superman and not crushed.
Yeah.
It's not like it makes him stronger. It just makes him more durable.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's just like, it's what a premium action figure should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was talking about the other two Mafex figures before, and I was saying they feel a bit lacking. They feel like they've not, like the deco's a bit lacking, or there's not enough accessories. He's got everything. He's got tons of accessories, and he's a chunky figure. And if you compare that to Superman, I'm sure they were about the same price. That's much better value.
It comes with an alternate, like an unmasked head as well, doesn't it?
It comes with an unmasked head and a angry masked head.
Oh, right, okay.
So it comes with 3 heads. He comes with that kind of acid attack thing that fires out of his hand at one point. He comes with a smoke grenade, and he comes with an assortment of hands. He doesn't come with a gun. He was meant to come with the gun. You very nicely bought me the old DC Multiverse before Todd McFarlane took over figure with the gun, and I paid for it. let you keep the figure and just took the gun. Not that he hardly uses the gun in it at all, but it's nice, especially since he comes with trigger fingers. You want something for him to hold with those hands. But it's like the ultimate realization of the Frank Miller art, and it's just bang on, chunky, solid, well built. None of those problems that you have with some other Mafex figures where they're a bit kind of loose or...
He does feel very good, yeah.
Yeah, the spikes on his feet, it's all brilliant. Bang on what it should be. And like we were talking about the cape, the only problem with it is that the cape does not attach at the back of his collar, so it sits up a bit high sometimes and you can't push it down. Like when I've been taking photos, I've had to like keep tugging it down, and I ended up like sticking a bulldog clip on the bottom of the cape to give it some weight so that it stayed down. But that's the only criticism I have.
Yeah, it's very nice. I was very tempted by it. It's nice when you've got like a set of figures that complement each other as well. Like it's definitely having him next to the Superman or like the other Batman, the Robin and whatnot. It all fits together well.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have bought the Superman if I didn't have this. I would have been like, okay, fine. But I don't think they would have done the Superman if they hadn't done this, to be honest. But there you go. That's my number 2, my second favourite of the year. And to be honest, I would say, without spoiling it, my number 1 and number 2 could switch. Like, they're very close. Your number 1. Number 1, yes. Drum roll. Oh no, shit. Yeah, because we went around the other way. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is very similar to what you just said. I think number 1, number 2 can interchange very easily. If you ask me on a different day, I might say something different.
Yeah.
But trying to be as objective as possible. SH Figure Arts Buzz Lightyear Alpha Suit from the new Buzz Lightyear movie that came out this year.
You see, when we were doing predictions earlier, I was looking through what you bought this year, and that did pop up as that could be an option. It is a very nice figure.
It's a great figure. It's probably like one of the best SH Figure Arts figures I've handled.
The biggest problem with this figure for me is the movie.
Which is why I didn't buy the figure.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it's not a very good movie.
No, it's a good film. It's just, it has a lot of films these days, it has a bad ending, which kind of sours the whole thing. But I love Buzz Lightyear.
Why?
I was hit at the right time to fall in love with Toy Story.
I suppose. But he's a dick.
Not this version. Everyone loves this version. I'm joking. No, they don't.
They don't.
No, I really do like this, and I like that it's kind of like an origin story type suit. Like all the bits and bobs that are normally associated with his suit is not built into the suit like this. As you can see, the wrist cannon is separate. The backpack is very much like it's a
strap-on type of thing.
Yeah, and it's like how he ejects from the spaceship and whatnot. It's not suit.
Yeah, I see. It's kind of modular, isn't it?
It's not modular. Yeah. More real world, and I like how he has like a little notch on his leg that you can attach, swap it out, put the gun thing on, and there's a similar thing for the laser sword he has in the film. It's great. It's painted head to toe.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
It's really nice articulation. The only real problems I would say that he doesn't come with enough head sculpts because he only has the cowled head and then the unmasked one. and that's it. Although you do get quite a...
What do you mean by cowled head? What you mean?
He doesn't have the head covering on the other one. He just...
Oh, I see. Oh, so yeah, I get you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's not got the. You know, what I can't think what you call that. It's like a kind of an astronaut's.
Astronaut sock.
Yeah. Does he have a clear piece that's folded back?
No, it just removes and you have like gap fillers to put into where the slot where this was.
I thought it only folded half back.
No.
But no, it folds all up. But that criticism is out the window. Okay.
The only thing that is missing is Socks, was his robot cat from the film. The best bit about that film was very much the Baby Yoda cute character to sell toys in the film, but he was really great at the film. That's the only thing it's missing.
Yeah, I suppose though, being SH Figure Arts, they wouldn't be able to go as far as just one accessory. They'd have to have it with various, you know,
Heads and-
sitting up, on all fours, and then it would inflate the price even more. So in a way, it would be nice, but
No, it doesn't happen. It's
yeah, no, it's really really nice. I really like it.
People would buy it just to have socks. I
They would.
don't care about buzz, just socks.
fine. Watching the film, you would think I was ready to not like this character, but he was great.
Yeah, it was really the saving grace of the second half. First half I thought was brilliant.
It's
Wasted
wonderful.
potential. Hot take.
Okay, so anything more to say before I move on to my top figure of the year?
The only thing about this is that I really like the design of Zurg in the film.
Uh-huh.
So having this automatically thinks I want the bad guy to go with it.
Have they solicited one?
SH Figure Out have not, but Beast Kingdom has, and they've got like an appropriate size one to go with this. I don't know.
Got Zergs and B&M.
Yeah, they do have those.
Are these cheap ones?
The tube ones, yeah.
Ah. Well, you'll have to wait and see them, I guess. Figure Arts are kind of slow, aren't they, on a lot of stuff?
Very slow. Yeah.
Alright, shall I get my number one out? Right, so, number one figure of the year!
I thought so.
Really? It is New Age Devastator / the Constructicons Toy Deco version. Odd that you thought so, because I wouldn't have thought so when I originally pre-ordered him. It was one of those kind of like, oh, do I want this? I don't really like combiners that much.
That was it. Like, I know that you are not a big fan of combiners. I was amazed that you bought this to begin with. But when I saw you take pictures of it and you started messing with it, I was like, oh, okay.
It's just really, it's New Age. It's everything I've already said about New Age. I'm not going to repeat it. It's just that. It's just what they do. And it has that wonderful presentation box, gift box, where you've got all the guys in vehicle mode down the side, and it looks beautiful.
Very G1.
Yeah, it's based on the G1 gift box from back in the day, as it were. And it's super solid, really, really nicely articulated, the combined mode and the individual robots. The individual robots all have super intuitive, easy to do transformations. There's no downsides. Like, there's nothing that I think, well, they could have done that better.
It looks great.
If you had any minor quibbles, maybe a little bit of stability problems with some of the feet, but I don't know. I've never had any problems. And they, again, like we were talking about before, they redesigned a lot of their legs and that, because the original versions were a bit lacking in certain ways. So New Age, being New Age, went, yeah, you're right, yeah, we'll do something about that. And they issued new legs for people and so on. So no, he's brilliant. And all the little toy deco decal tampos
It's
and
all
that.
painted, isn't it?
Well, they're these are tampos. These bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's loads of paint on it. But all those things really kind of help it pop. And like the original deco one, the individual robots look very plain because they did in the show. Whereas they've made these look a lot more individual with, like, I mean, you can see on the back there, like the chests of the guys have got like loads of little details on and stuff. It's just really, really well done.
I feel
love it.
like this is one of those figures, like if you took it into an office, someone would come up to you and say, "Oh, I had that as a child. That's exactly the way it looks."
Yeah, and you go, no, actually it was incredibly static and it fell to pieces as soon as you looked at it. Yeah,
You're such an office delight.
well, I mean, I've had this thing before where people have kind of come around my house to do some, I don't know, plumbing or something or whatever, and gone, "Oh, I had him," and I'm like, "No, you didn't."
And then they upsold you on an extra pipe or something.
Yeah, probably, yeah, something along those lines. It's cheats as well. This does. The body is a separate thing. Like this is six guys in one. You've got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. But then this whole chest section is a whole separate thing, and the tops of the legs is a whole separate thing that just sits in the box when you've got them not combined. So it's a bit of a cheat. Everything from here to here and the head is all a separate thing. And you've got, I can't remember what the dump truck guy is called now. Bone crusher?
Overhaul? Long haul? No.
Who gives a shit? Who cares? But the guy who turns into a dump truck, he's basically just diving into his back and hiding. Like,
Doesn't the G1 toy do something similar? Doesn't he just tab into the back as well?
that's, you know what I mean? You can see the little guy's bum here,
It's like he's been shoved in his
and he's just in there, and he's not really contributing towards the combined mode at all.
Well, but it forms a little tail. Maybe it helps him with his balance.
Yeah, I guess,
probably.
yeah. It's just a little dump truck backpack.
Nice. Or maybe he can keep some stuff in there, like some sand or some bricks.
Yeah. It does sort of contribute towards holding the whole back section together a bit.
And he comes with like the drill hands, right? Or
Drill hands, and also I wanted to kind of, it has a gun. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Has a gun which has lights and sounds. Don't really need it. Don't need the sounds, but it's nice to have, I guess. And got a laser light at the front. That's it. That's my number one. That's my and again, just like last year, I couldn't have predicted it. I would never have said at the beginning of the year, "Oh, my favourite figure of this year is going to be a combiner, and it's going to be Devastator." Like, no, not at all.
It's a great pick. I could tell that you was I don't want to say gushing, but
It's not really the descriptive word for Orion.
You're very easy to read when you like something, and you definitely liked this when you got it.
Well, I think it's important to make it clear when you do like something, because I get so much criticism for being negative about stuff. It's like, no, I'm just picky, you know. And when I like something, and I don't, hold back on saying so. And it also, I mean, I took lots of photos because there's so many things you can do with it. Like, you've got 6 guys all transform, and then you've got the combined mode. Like, it's a lot of fun. And I took this one along to the pub, and Michael had a great time whizzing it backwards and forwards between modes. He didn't need any instructions. He is a bit of a genius, though, when it comes to transformation. Okay, let's hear your number one.
Well, my number one. Top figure of the year for me is SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Who?
Both of you have chosen one with a tail.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Is this the one you were meant to get last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so you wanted to put him in the top 3 last year, so...
Yeah, he was meant to come around about this time last year, and he didn't until, I don't know, February, March or something. I really, really love Super Saiyan 4. Not just because of Dragon Ball GT, where it's from. If
You
you've
could be
not
talking
seen it.
Japanese. I don't know what he's talking about. Go on.
Like
I'm having a stroke.
many things, it's from Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. One of my
What?
favourite video games growing up.
Uh-huh.
And
Did you
this...
say Boudica 3?
Budokai.
Oh.
he was one of the favourite characters I had in the game, and it was something that back in the day you had to, complete the game and do things to unlock characters or evolutions. You didn't just have to buy it from launch, and you had to work hard and you had to play this game rigorously with other people. And that's some of my favourite memories, is that, and this really encapsulates it. This is one of the same characters who first did one of those Dragon Ball model kits as well.
Yeah, I saw you built that. Yeah.
I love the design of this. It's so different from all the other transformations he has. The accessories is great. The new type of articulation they've done for them, how they were able to move bits of his hair so you can still, manipulate his head.
I get what you mean. Yeah. It's got hairs on there. Some hinges in the hair. Yeah.
His fluorescent fur. It's so ridiculous, and it just encapsulates what I love about Dragon Ball.
I didn't know until you told me that this was Goku.
Exactly.
Because I thought it doesn't look like Goku. But yeah, very, very good. Very nice figure. I mean, it was HH Figure Arts. They make good stuff. A little bit of looseness here and there, but
he's got my one's got some loose ankles.
Yeah, but no, he's very, very nice, very posable. Yeah, he looks great. Like I say, Dragon Ball Z is something that happened when I was in my 20s. I mean, obviously the original Dragon Ball started a lot earlier than that, but it wasn't really something that was available in the UK, really. I mean, that whole kind of 90s, early 2000 anime invasion that kind of happened with things like Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing and so on, all kind of coming out on Toonami and all that. I watched some of that, and I liked it, but I was a bit too old for it all. And
I should also admit, as a disclaimer, I didn't like Dragon Ball Z when I was little, as in the show.
I do think we should be calling it Dragon Ball Z, actually.
Oh, okay. Dragon Ball Z.
Fuck those Americans.
I didn't like it at the start, and it was only because, like I said, the games and some of the extra stuff that they did really got me into it.
Yeah.
I went full circle on it many years. It wasn't until I was in college or something I really started to get into it.
Okay, great. Good choice. Well done.
and it's also why I said that number 1, number 2 are kind of interchangeable. Like, I think this is a really good figure, but it's just because it's soured by the movie that it loses a few points, and this has more nostalgia and
because of that game. Yeah,
it goes up a bit.
Yeah. That's fair. Talking about loose ankles, Goku just chose that moment to fall over. Them both being HH Figure Arts as well. They're a lot easier to compare.
And there were so many contenders from this year, because I've been getting a lot of SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball Z figures this year, and it's all been great. A lot of them didn't come out this year, so they didn't make the list. But they've also just announced that they're doing the SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta to go along with him, and I assume that they'll probably do some more from this line, because they don't touch GT. We don't talk about GT. It's not canon.
I don't know what it is.
It's
another thing.
It's another thing.
Right. Cool. So you're going to get some more of those as they come out. Then?
Yep. All pinky furry Super Saiyan 4 guys.
Why not? I mean, I do think what SH Figure Arts have been doing with Dragon Ball Z is probably their best stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you like that, then absolutely, I can see it coming in your top 3. Why wouldn't it? They do amazing stuff. It's so spot on to the animation and the characters. Everything scales well. Everything's really articulated. It's just, yeah. I mean, of all the SH Figure Arts stuff, it's probably some of the best stuff they do. My optics! Right, so before we do the honourable mentions, you've got one more present for me, haven't you?
I do.
I have 2.
Oh.
So I'm going to gift you another thing before we get on to the last present, yeah?
Okay.
So, and this one, it's good that you're here because I made a snap decision after one of your presents. These are for... One of them's for you, one of them's for you.
Ooh. Glad I got out of bed for this.
Yeah, there you go.
Saga.
Saga I mean, I think you'll both enjoy Saga,
And Gotham
but I think
City.
you'll probably enjoy it more.
Alrighty.
So that's for you.
Thank you.
Aha, this is the book that you've been referring to.
It's time for your comic book education. So I've got Dave, Gotham Central, the first volume of, which is the police procedural set in Gotham. And then Saga, which is one of the best comic books being made today. It's basically it's a huge space opera about there's a big war going on between the Horns and the Wings, and two of them get together and have a baby, and then it's about and it's just brilliant. It's
Okay, it sounds a little bit like Good Omens, but it's spacey instead of angely.
yeah, maybe.
Cool. Thank you so much.
No worries. So, and I thought after this, I should also add to the pot.
Alright. There you go.
So, off the back of getting my Blue Beta and Booster Gold, I've now given Dave the first hardcover of Justice League International.
I was just about to name everyone, but I don't know everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should know this person's name. What's this person's name?
Mr. Miracle.
Or
Or Oberon. Dr. Light.
who?
Dr. Light.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was honestly thinking about adding that to the mix before, and I kept going backwards and forwards in my mind. And because you were referring to, I think you've got the Guy Gardner punch in there.
Oh, is this where it's from?
It's probably in that first volume. It might not be, but I think it is.
Guy Gardner.
Where Batman punches Guy Gardner in the face and makes him nice. He has he basically has concussion, which makes him a nice person for a while.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Shall I give you my one then?
No.
Oh,
Because like I said, I've got one more present for you.
Oh, right.
So we'll do that at the end. We'll do our final present at the end.
Alright.
So, actually, no, we should do the predictions.
Oh, well.
Dave, would you like to read what's been stuck to your forehead?
Some bloody awful McFarlane rubbish. Probably Nightfall Batman. Sentinel Peter. Does that say Fans Toys, Hannibal, or Acoustic Wave?
I'm shocked you haven't put any fans toys in your list at all.
I want to talk about Fans Toys.
Because you bought quite a bit of fans toys this year.
But only one of them came out this year?
Hannibal came out this year, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah. And I thought, knowing you break the rules and put acoustic waves.
No. Something that breaks the rules. something X-Men. Actually, there is no X-Men.
I'm surprised. Yeah, my predictions have been quite poor this year. Your predictions, you've listed them as 1 to 3. So did you think Mafex Superman was going to be number 1?
I thought it was going to be a lot higher than it was. But, yes, I should probably have not numbered them.
Alright. But then you've put Snake Guy, which I assume is Serpentor.
Serpentor, yeah.
Yeah.
Such a way with words.
He was in my top 3. And New Age Grimlock Stroke Devastator, which Devastator was my number 1. New Age Grimlock was in my list. So no, not bad predictions whatsoever, to be honest. Like I say, you bought so much stuff, it's really hard. I mean, I predicted that guy would appear.
Yes, you did.
The McFarlane Chew Doll.
I almost brought the Carl Rayner Green Lantern. Just to throw you off what my number 3 was going to be.
Okay, I'll just put that there and go, yeah, that would have been quite fun. Yeah. Yes, so yes, I did predict he'd be, but that was it. You're pretty much bang on. They were all in my list. Maybe not in the order you thought they were, but yeah, they're all in my list. So yeah, honourable mentions, you were going to do some.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it just there. Marvel Legends, X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit hard to define any, but that recent Cyclops was really great.
It's all like the video box ones.
The video box ones and the recent Beast. I think if I got that a little earlier, he might have made the list, but I literally got him last week. It's a really great Beast figure. Obviously, all of the Spider-Man figures that came out this year for all the 60-year stuff, there was some really good stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't just quite make the list. The couple of Beast Wars figures in Legacy, like the Transilus, Inferno, really great. And Fans Toys. Listening back to some of the earlier episodes, I found it really interesting. Cause I can't remember what episode it was now, but there was one point I bet that you would buy more mainline figures
And then you were saying to me about maybe you're going to buy some more high-end figures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's exactly what happened.
Sort of. I mean, yeah, it's only been classified for me, though. But yeah, no, you're right. It is accurate. Although I think that was more in reference to Transformers, though.
Yes.
I haven't bought any mainline Transformers, and I've been tempted here and there, but
It's a slippery stuff you've already found out.
well, it's not just that. As we were talking about, no, we'll get onto this.
Okay.
It's slightly later in the podcast.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll expand on the Fan Toys thing later, but Honourable was on the list for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
He almost stuck it out, but I thought, like you said about Serpentor, I needed to give props to Hasbro for doing something right, and that's why I really had to highlight Override.
I maybe would have thought he would have taken Prime's place.
Yeah, it was around that spot. Yeah.
Right. Anything else? I mean, anything that didn't qualify that you want to mention?
Dr. Fate.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay.
I mean, like many characters, superhero characters, sometimes I might not be all read up or know everything about them. Well, maybe as I should.
Yeah.
I've got a book now. But I've always liked Dr. Fate's aesthetic, and I think this embellishes on the right bits of it, and it's a great little figure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, so I listed all the figures I bought this year because I can, because I don't buy as many as you do. Like I said, I totted them up, and I probably bought 40 figures this year in total-ish, roughly. And some of them have been the same figure. Like, I bought 4 Battle Android Troopers. I bought, like, when it comes to classified, I've doubled up because, with Cobra, you kind of have to army build it. It don't look right otherwise. So, I've actually got all of mine in order, listed. I'm not going to go through them, but of the ones that weren't quite in the top 10, the ones I want to mention are New Age Comic Deco Prime. Love him. He's really cool. He's up there. I'll bring him down actually. May as well join the crew. He's great, but my criticism of him is the blue is too light and the wheels are blue in vehicle mode. Like, why?
I thought you were going to say it's because his gun's purple.
I don't care that his gun's purple.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, because I've got a black one.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, yes, his gun being purple is not ideal, but it is sort of comic book accurate.
Yeah, no, it's
so it's sort of all right. But yeah, he's good, but he's not as good as the Megatron. And I already had the Megatron and the Grimlock in the list and the Shockwave in the list. I was like, I don't need to have him in there too. Crimson Guard just came out for classified. Really nice figure. A good example of when they do it right, because some of the classic classified figures are a bit gimpy. Or gimpy? Derpy? Weird? Wrong? Like, they're not very well built, or they've got bad joints, or they use gummy plastic. This doesn't. It's really good. Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Which you got me, which I do really like. It's a really cool figure. Like, for Marvel Legends, I love it.
Some of their Spider-Man figures this year have been brilliant.
No, it's spot on what you'd want, really. I mean, yeah, the little web things are a little bit... It could be better, but no, it's really nice articulated figure for a mainline figure. Like, really good. It's not on the same level as Mafex or whatever, but
I mean, you got to experience that the big contention with Spider-Man figures is the being pinless. You don't get the red pegs on the black legs or arms.
I can't say that I noticed.
No? It was not.
It's never bothered me.
It's never bothered you.
Never ever.
It's always been such an oddity that people keep bringing.
Yeah,
up this.
I know people do find it, but I'm like, it's an action figure.
I think it's only because it's Spider-Man because of the 2 colours. But
yeah, I get it. I get why people find it, but pinless, schminless. Like, someone went, "Oh, the Crimson Guard's pinless." I'm like, "Is he?" Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, and then these guys aren't. Okay. Don't care. But
it's not as big as deal with those guys because it's.
No, I totally get the reason why Spider, but it has never bothered me. I've seen it and gone, oh, that's a shame, but I never thought, oh, that really annoys me.
Okay.
So other things, so there are a bunch of other things in my list, but honourable mentions that I do want to mention is New Age Jetfire. I can't put him in the list because I haven't got him, but he looks great. And I reckon if I had one, he would probably have had an appearance somewhere.
I think I pre-ordered him, but then I cancelled it.
I was waiting to see which decos came out before I decide which one to get.
Have they not released all of them yet?
There's one more to come, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the kind of slightly metallic one. The toy deco one's nice, but it doesn't represent anything that It doesn't look like the character from anything. You know, it's just a nice deco. So I might go with the kind of more kind of pearlescent one, and he'd match up with the comic book deco ones a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Legacy G-Axis, just because they did it, and it is a really great toy. It's got a bit of a janky alt mode, but it's a really nice toy. It really looks like him. It has the really great head sculpt on it. Just think it's really cool. My optics! It's Christmas!
Yeah!
Final present time, I reckon.
Oh, right.
So, here's your final present.
It's a box. Masterpiece MP17 Prowl. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is a hand-me-down because it was mine, but I thought, you've got this burgeoning MP collection, you're talking about getting the art crew together. I'm sorry he's not got blue windows, but there you go.
Thank you. Cool. And it's a figure I don't have, so there you go.
Yeah, though this again,
That was quite difficult, wasn't it?
buying toys for you is impossible because I don't know what you haven't got, you know?
Well, I know that you haven't got this.
Oh,
Here's your figure.
I know what this is. Because I can tell by the shape. But I'm going to pretend I don't... Oh, what could it be? What could it be?
It's so funny with your
I know, right?
It's what I thought it was! No, yes, it's... So, we were talking about these yesterday. This is the Higher Toys Judge Dredd. Thank you, because I wouldn't have bought this for myself, because I'm waiting for them to bring out the 6-inch line. Because these are the 4-inch or whatever they are. But they do look fantastic.
I mean, we talked about it last year, and what things you were looking forward to, and they still haven't done it.
Still haven't done it. But that's really nice, thank you. These small ones look really great. They're really nicely sculpted, really well painted.
So that might hold you over until they actually do it.
Well, isn't that wonderful? So, let's wrap everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any things you're looking forward to in 2023?
Oh my gosh, I did write a long list for that. I'll just fly through them. Zap Megazords, which is the Hasbro
Right.
Megazord line.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of those I'm looking forward to. The XTB Galvatron, which I think should come out this year, but it's probably not.
Oh yeah. X-Transbots.
Legacy Optimus Prime, the Prime I've been waiting for forever, may actually happen next year. About bloody time.
Mm-hmm.
Going to TFN.
Uh-huh.
Really looking forward to that. And more Nendoroids.
Well. Yeah, well, you know, you like what you like, don't you?
Do you think you'll go to TFN, Orion?
Probably. I said yes after going,
Yeah.
but as it becomes further away, I feel less like it. But I probably will. I've not bought a ticket, and I'm not going to buy a ticket yet. But I do think I might go for the whole weekend, but I don't know. We'll see. Right. So things I'm looking forward to. Now, actually, I was going to say, I guess the Mezco Spider-Man figures. I'm looking forward to them now, seeing your Mezco figures. Masterpiece Burnout, just because I'm starved for good masterpieces, and she looks great. I really like the deco, and it gets to go with my my reboost. I am looking forward to the HasLabs His Tank. Of course, I'm looking forward to it. I spent a lot of money on it, and I do want it. I am worried that it's going to have some kind of problem, because most HasLabs have, but I'm looking forward to it. It will be the centerpiece of my G.I. Joe classified collection, and it's going to look good with all the Cobra Troopers and Vipers and so. I did write the Higher Toys 6-inch Judge Dredd line.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, maybe I'll just get into the 4-inch line for a while. I'm looking forward to, I think there's going to be a second season of Peacemaker. I think there's going to be a second season of Invincible eventually, so that'll be good. Spider-Verse 2, movies, yeah. More Saga, because... So, just to fill you in, I've got three big books of Saga up there. Those 3 books all came out in succession, and then Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples took a massive hiatus for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's back now, so there's going to be more. Yeah, that, and then things that don't have anything to do with toys. I'm going to go see Pulp in Finsbury Park. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And we have some exciting guests lined up for next year for the podcast. Yeah, so look out for that. So that's my things I'm looking forward to. Just before we go, Dave, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Wait for more sales, narrow down the collection, sell more figures.
Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah?
I wasn't expecting that second one.
No, I think, like I said the same thing last year, like, the more I buy, the more I get an idea of what it is I like and I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting easier to sell the figures I don't like, or figures that I think this other one is better.
Curates your collection.
Exactly. And, I think sometimes people, like my family, think that it's something you can do overnight, but it's not. It's going to take time. So
I hope they're not listening.
I have to get through it, and I think once it's really, like, stuff starts to really start to go, I can curate my collection and have nice displays. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Cool. I mean, mine's similar. Mine's a little bit more hardcore. Quitting toys.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm not quitting toys, but I'm going to be a lot more selective, and I'm going to try to buy as few new toys as possible this coming year. I'm going to try and buy second-hand, vintage stuff over brand new, shipped over here from China, ruining the planet shit.
Right.
So if I'm buying new stuff, try and get it from a UK place who've shipped it all over en masse, so therefore saving on things just being flown over to me or shipped over to me. And yeah, I think I'll be getting more into buying. Well, I'm going to continue buying the old comics, so that's cool. My optics! And there you have it. That's 2021 in a nutshell. Have you made a list of your favourite bots or action figures from this year? What are they? Did you enjoy or like our choices? Do let us know on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at @GearOrion and Orion_Gear respectively. Dave, you like to social media, don't you? Where can they find you doing all that social media shiz?
They can always find me at VirtualDave26 on Instagram or on Twitter, which I keep forgetting to do stuff on. But yes, that's where you'll find me.
Excellent.
And you'll be able to find my list there.
Oh yes, your Nendoroids list as well. Yeah. Excellent. Talking of excellence, you, our listeners, have exhibited that in spades. This rounds out year 2 of our little podcast, and listener numbers are up. Woohoo! We've had a great time meeting some of you at TFN, and we hope to meet more. So thank you for all your support. It's been amazing. Dave, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'm just as you said, like meeting all the people from TFN, doing that event, and meeting people in person. People have started to notice us a bit more on social media. We get tagged in certain things. People have dropped out even recently. TFN highlighted one of the pictures me and Virtual Amy were in. It's very nice, very lovely. And getting to know that, putting faces to virtual avatars or names as well.
Yeah.
I had one guy come up to me at TFN who I've spoken to and stolen memes from on Facebook for many years. It's like I didn't recognise who he was. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Hi, Dave. His name is actually Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was brilliant, and and you've been the perfect foil to me as a co-host. It's been a great time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
So yes, thanks to everybody. Please do keep it up. Keep liking, subscribing, sharing and so on. We really appreciate it. And you know what? There is a Patreon too. where you can get extra special bonus content and so on for a measly £1 a month. Find that at www.patreon.com/AARGH. Don't forget the AA. And that's it. That's our year in review. Thank you for listening, and please join us again next time on AARGH My Optics!